Mary, my name is Shlomi Dax, and it's truly, truly an honor to be here today and be part of this unbelievable event. Sing all of you many times a year. I have the honor and the zchus of singing at different occasions, at happy occasions, and this is no different. So first I wanted to start by thanking Yeshiva Flatbush for hosting us in this beautiful, beautiful auditorium, and several organizations that arrange this as well: OHEL, Nachas Health, Orapop JCC, and of course United Task Force, and the one and only Mrs. Dr. Faye Zachary. Thank you so much. So this is very special to me because I was blessed as a young child. Hashem gave me the talent to sing and to perform. And people always ask me, wow, what did you do as a child? What did you drink? What did you eat? And I always wonder, how can anybody ever feel that you did something that you did it on your own? If there's anything, this is the easiest one, to know straightforward that you can never take this for granted. This was strict 100% God-given. I understand in business people pull off a great business deal, they do something, they think it with their own mind. They realize that it's all above, all Hashem. But sometimes you lose focus and you think that it was your doing, something smart that you did. But when Hashem gives you a talent, a voice, you know there is no question about it. And I thank my mother. When I was 3 or 4 years old, she already heard me singing in the crib, singing as I started to walk, taking the pots and pans and the forks and the spoons. She knew that this was going to be my life. And I thank her for starting me off, pushing me to do choirs, and then on my own as an adult. So I've been blessed, and I thank Hashem every day, and I never take it for granted. And I've been in venues all over the world, the most beautiful concert halls. But I have to tell you, a beautiful venue like today here in Yeshiva Flatbush means more to me than some of the biggest venues that I've attended. Because the people here, and I really, really mean it, because this is really what Klal Yisrael is all about. The unity, the remembering the chain, the links to our past generations, and for our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren that have blossomed since the Holocaust. We know that we survived, and you all did that, and you will have the strength to give us, the future generations, that courage, that strength, that no matter what happens, we are Am Yisrael Ke'ish Echad B'Lev Echad. So thank you very much again for having me, and without further ado, I would like to introduce our performers today. The Zusha Band, let's give them a big hand.
Good morning, everybody. Shalom Aleichem, everyone. Very special to be here. And this is coming song I'm about to sing. It's called Hareim Achavim. And the main idea of the song, the words are Kabbalistic preparation for prayer. And the main concept is to put intention into all that you do. And I think that's a really important message for our generation. Continuing from all the intentionality that you guys put in, is to make sure that we're living a meaningful life, that we're thinking about how special it is to be and how special it is that we're here, and how it's a zchus to be alive, and it's a zchus to be able to say Kriya Shema without your life being on the line.
also a survivor. And so I grew up, pretty much every occasion that we got together was something that she spoke about. After about 20 years, she didn't speak about it for 20 years. And after 20 years, she started going around to different schools, public schools, going around the country and speaking and sharing her stories. I grew up, Baruch Hashem, with such an amazing woman as my bubby. You know, for me, she wasn't a survivor; she's a bubby. And one of the stories that always stuck with me was that she was walking in Auschwitz one day, and she saw under a rock. She saw a dandelion, a little yellow flower, and she looked at the flower. She's like, she couldn't believe that something could be growing in a place like that. And I'm looking around here, and I see so many beautiful flowers. Like, everyone here is a miracle. Not just obviously the survivors are all miraculous, but even everyone that comes from that, everyone that's a product of those people that like Shlomi mentioned, that everyone that put in the blood, sweat, and tears gives us the strength to do what we do. So I'm just looking at all the beautiful flowers. This song is called Hatzileni, and it's about us recognizing that there is evil in the world, but there's also flowers in the world.
Hatzileni,
At this point, we'd like to welcome back our friend Shlomi, who will join us for a song or two, Shlomi Dax. A big inspiration growing up. We get to sing his songs every night to our kids at night, and we're very honored to be singing with him.
You know, it's interesting because as we all feel connected in some way. My mother's father was in the Holocaust and lost his entire family and restarted in America, in Los Angeles, started a new family, and my mother was, Baruch Hashem, a daughter that was born after the war. And my wife's grandmother, Alaa Shalom, which I lived there just a few years ago, also went through the war with her sister, her aunt. And it's just so amazing, like I said before, how we are the next generation having our children and the next children. And that's the biggest revenge we can have, is keeping Klal Yisrael strong and continuous, growing and thriving. So thank you again so much for coming. This is a song that epitomizes why we're here today. We're all one, we're all brothers, we're all sisters, one united Klal Yisrael.
If you know it, please join us.
No So the next song I'd like to do, people always ask us performers, how do you choose songs, unless you're talented enough to make them up yourselves, which I am not. How do you choose a song? How do you know what people are going to like? The answer is you don't know. Sometimes a song number 9 on the album turns out to be the hit, and you would have wished you put it number 1 and number 2. That didn't happen? Yeah, Ben Taplin's here. Mazel tov, he's getting married. Amazing. There's a husband here on the front. Another symptom here. Ah, that is Ben. Anyway, so this song, Hamal Chagal, I got on a cassette tape. Does anybody here know what a cassette tape is? Of course you do. My kids don't know what a cassette tape is. And it was in my mailbox, and I said, oh, my eyes rolled, another cassette tape with 25 songs on it. About 24 of them sounded the same because they're the same composer. But this one Hamalach was on that cassette. This next song I'd like to sing. And you have Siyata D'Shmai, you pick a song that the world ends up loving and liking, and we all get that opportunity a few times. And that's the song I'd like to do for you today, Hamalach Chagal. Hamalach Chagal to have this unique honor to have all of you, special, special people here today, answer amen to my bracha. That would be amazing, because it is hot up here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'hakom yeh b'dvaro. Amen. Did you ever hear the Shahakal story? Just thought of Shahakal's story. I can give you 2 minutes.
I was just learning the Gemara actually, the Shahakal, Gemara Bracha.
Really?
So first bracha.
So everybody knows the bracha, Shahakol yeh b'dvaro. It's made on a lot of different foods, probably more foods than others. Because anything that's not mazonos, anything that's not hamotzi, is Shahakol. So I'm standing in Landau Shul. You know the famous shul right here in Flatbush? It's a minion factory every 15 minutes. Oh, Dr. Faizan is here. Hello. I might get killed for calling her out, but I had to. She's, whatever, one of them. Anyway, she really is, but we don't want to embarrass her even though I can't see her. Anyway, so I'm standing in Landau Shul. They have a nice big coffee room over there. And I'm making a coffee and I'm stirring it. And I make my shahakal out loud. My father very recently, the last few years, started to teach us to make brachos out loud. It helps someone else hear it. They answer amen. Everybody gets a mitzvah. It's a beautiful thing. You have to answer a lot of amens every day. Make 100 brachos. I think 90 amens. So he started to teach us that. And I started to naturally do it. Even if my house is empty, nobody home, I make it out loud. So there I make my out loud hashahakal. And behind me is a man that I didn't even realize. An elderly man, a little hunched over, comes over to me. And he gives me like a little nudge. And he goes, do you know what you just did? Did I steal the coffee? I wasn't sure what he's going to tell me. He tells me, let me tell you about what you just did. He says, the world took on that coffee to a lot of people start off their day with coffee. It became like probably the number one drink that people drink to start off their day. And he says, if you think about it, it's all the opposites of the world. It's amazing. If you taste coffee by itself, out of a jar, it's very bitter. So we add a little sweet and low, or trivia, or sugar to balance it. Then we pour in hot water, and it turns black. Now it's hot and black. Then we pour in a little white milk, and we make it white. Another opposite, and then we stir it to make it a little warmer. All the opposites come together, and then Shahakol yeh b'dvaro. Everything Hashem, to a person who doesn't understand, they'll look at, what are you making? What is this coffee? It's opposites. That's what we need to realize in life. We think it's night, but it's really day, and day will come. Things that seem to be hard and challenging, we don't understand. We don't understand how this coffee all of a sudden tastes delicious, but it works, even though they're opposites. And that's what we do. We stir our life to be positive throughout all the challenges that we have, all the bumps in the road, because everyone in our lives, everyone has challenges, everybody hits that with bumps, and we just have to get over those bumps. And you have taught us to have that strength, to survive no matter what, and keep the courage and the strength. Thank you so much. At this time, I'm going to come down. If we can have a few of our wonderful survivors join us over here in the front. So anyway, for everyone here, we have 4 volunteers here. And just to get a little idea, what is your name? Rabinovich. And where do you live now? Where do you live now? And how many years are you in Borough Park?
1949.
Since 1949, wow. Unbelievable. And I know you have a lot of family and grandchildren and great-grandchildren in Borough Park also? Amazing, unbelievable, beautiful, thank you. And what is your name?
Lillian Feintuch.
Lillian Feintuch, sure, I remember you. Where do you live?
I live in Borough Park.
Also Borough Park.
Yeah. For 50 years.
50 years.
I've also been speaking in public schools and regular schools for a very interesting story because actually I was a small child when I was in the Holocaust, and my story is so unique. When I wrote a little bit of the memoir, Simone Hirsch, whatever, she's the director of the Club Nissen, she called me and she said, I've been reading and reading so many Holocaust survivor stories, but yours is so unique, I never heard it before. So, and also I had something saved that time. We went to a ceramic place, and her mother sat opposite me, and the two of us, and she asked me some questions. Where were you in the war? And I said, and where are you from? And where are you from? And then we connected that actually she was from my town, and I didn't see her for a long, long time, till 1946. And that's how I connected with Faye Zakheim and her mother.
I remember Mrs. Rand. I knew Mrs. Rand very, very well, Shalom, and on the Neshama should have an Aliyah, and all the work.
I don't know if you're understanding one thing. The miracle of the survivors and the fact that you're from and that fact that you're Jewish and that you brought it into your children and your grandchildren. It's not like people do that all the time, to carry forward. They say, okay, let me give up on my religion just to stay alive. But none of you did that. All of you brought your Yiddishkeit into America, into New York, and you are the reason that we are all here. So on that day, my mother went to go do pottery, and across from her was sitting somebody she didn't know, and she said to this woman, where are you from? She's from Balmazuvalish, a small town, tiny little town in Hungary. My mother said, I'm from Balmazuvalish. It turned out Lillian's father was the seltzer man, and my grandfather was the watchmaker. And my mother and Lillian hadn't seen each other in 60 years, and they met at a pottery making place here in Brooklyn. So every time I see Lillian, I feel like I'm hugging my mother. Aloha Shalom.
Your grandfather and my father were friends.
Yeah, it's an amazing story, but it just goes to show, that you are special people. Hashem is walking you through this world. He's watching you every second. He's giving you nachas, and we are all, my generation, we are so grateful to you that you survived, because we have such beautiful lives because of you. So we thank you.
Thank you. Should not have said it best. And what is your name? Let me guess, you live in Borough Park. How long are you in Borough Park?
20 years.
20 years? Where were you before Borough Park?
He was in Bergen-Belsen. He was in Nalanda. More than 20 years.
No, before 20 years you're in Borough Park, but you're, And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, honey.
Tell us a little about you.
Yeah. He was terrible in Nalanda. He was there in the 49. Gandhi was there in Nalanda. 44. And it was terrible because, but we both Hashem, we came home with 6 little children with a mommy, and she married up us, all of the children.
Unbelievable. Amazing. Thank you for inspiring us. She's the Belzer Rebbitzins. Really? Today? Now? Wow. That's special. She's the Belzer Rebbitzins Gabata. I'll explain to you what that means. She helps around the house and does fundraisers for them, helps them arrange parties. Unbelievable. Wow. And what is your name?
From Poland.
From Poland.
Born in Poland, in Krakow. We lived in Auschwitz. And then we left the boat.
What is your name?
My name is Jacoba Rahuba. And we left, and they took, in Auschwitz, we moved better, because it was very close to the Germans. And then they took us to Russia. And we were in Russia for the whole war.
And where do you live now today?
What?
Where do you live now?
Now I live here in Borough Park, not Borough Park, Flatbush.
You're in Flatbush. Wow, okay, we have someone from Flatbush. On Ocean Parkway, wow. Anyway, so may you all continue. Sure.
As before, I am a Holocaust survivor, but I am also from Auschwitz. We left Auschwitz practically the last on January the 18th on the death march. It was the last people who had actually left Auschwitz. The death march was unbelievable. So many of us who were not able to continue the walk from Auschwitz to Ravensbrück, and I wanted to sit down in the snowy cold winter, thought to rest, was immediately shot dead. There came a time when I was also too tired to continue walking, and I said to my sister who was with me, I have to sit down and rest. She knew what's going to happen to me if I do. So she held me up and carried me behind her all the way to the mountains.
Here you are today, you're here today. And you look so beautiful and classy and so unbelievable. Literally inspiration. Inspiring for our young kids, our young generation to understand what life is. Every breath. Really, really incredible. So thank you all really for coming. And we're going to conclude our program back with Zusha on stage with a few more songs. And thank you again for coming. I know my grandparents that are no longer here are looking from Shemayim now, and they are so incredibly b'simcha to see all of you continuing the beautiful pride of our... Okay, thank you. I suggest any of the students that are here and all of us get a bracha from these survivors. These brachas come true. I could tell you my own personal stories where I needed a certain thing in my life. You get a bracha from them. It is a straight, direct line to the one above. Take advantage while they're here.
Say it.
Sorry?
Said, if you need a bruche, don't come to me. Go to the survivor. Wow.
She's saying that the Satmar Rebbe used to say, people used to come to him for brachas, don't come to me, go to a survivor.
He was by me in the house.
He was by you in the house. Unbelievable. Yeah, very, very true.
And I'm a survivor, 6 years. 6 years I wasn't good.
6 years, wow.
From 1939. I was born in Krakow.
So this song we're going to do now is probably the most famous song that came out of the war. It was made up literally in the camps. For somebody to be in a frame of mind to make up a song that hundreds and thousands of people have sung 80, 70, 80, 90 years. It's just an incredible, incredible song, and I hope you enjoy it.
עכשיו ירושלים של זהב.
Sorry?
ירושלים של זהב. I love it.
It's a beautiful song. We'll sing it
I
to you
love
after.
it.
We'll come back. Maybe we'll sing it after.
I think we'll do it for you right afterwards, okay?
I just want to say it's been an honor. You've given us so much, and it's such a bracha that we can give you just a little bit of something, some excitement, some joy. It's been a real bracha. You're giving so much more to us.
Okay, we need everybody to clap along for us. Let's go, let's start clapping. Everybody, everybody. Come on, Ben. Ben, you get a clap too, Ben. Come on, Ben. Oh, beautiful event. Have a wonderful, wonderful summer. Stay cool. And Mitzvah Shem, looking forward to the next event.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Guys, get your breakfast. Line up now. I'm telling you. Go get them.
Yes.
Sing for us, and love.
Amen.
If you have these three things, you have the lighting, Yerushalayim, beauty,
Sir, she wants to say something to you. Yes. Can I get a bracha? Teaching in the school, like privacy and building it up. I'm probably going to do more in the future. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue it or not, like the teaching. Right now, I'm teaching in the school.
He also writes a cookies.
You're from Hungary, you said?
My grandma
Sounded as good out on stage as it out there.
I need a piece of paper.
Oh, this is for you. The envelope maybe? No.
Hi, how are you?
Let me find that other piece of paper.
You have to send me pictures.
From all these people.
Yeah, you have to send me pictures to the email. Right up there. Yeah, I'll take
Zach, just double check it. Just look at it right now.
Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel halal nechoshet חנינו ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושלה לכל שירייך חנינו
חזרנו אל בורות המים לשוב ולעתיקה שופר קורא בהר הבית בעיר העתיקה ובמערות יושב הסלע על פש משות זורחו נשוב נרד על ים המלח בדרך יריחו ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושלה עלי לכל שירייך חנינו ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושלה עלי לכל שירייך חנינו לה 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 ושל נחושת ושלה עלה לכל שירייך חנינו ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושלה עלה לכל שירייך
Simcha. He wants to get a picture. His wife puts on music.
Oh, can you take it? Perfect, because I'm terrible at selfies.
Oh, of course. Good. Come right up.
Good, gentlemen.
Wow, what a photo.
Good, thank you very much.
It might be bad at selfies, but this is a together.
That's correct. Togetheries are always better than
Yeah, so
selfies.
you would have been good at this.
Right, I'm much better at togetheries.
See you by next
Real?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sister Mitzvahs, Sister Mitzvahs. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. We don't listen to it on the music needs to go. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You made such a nice day for us. Nothing nicer than a nice day.
Yeah, you have a great voice, man. I'm not supposed to be listening, but I was.
But I appreciate my son. I grew up with an aunt who was singing all the time in Brooklyn. A cousin was beautiful. I grew up in this and I love it. Arabic. We used to sing Arabic.
I'm a candidate. I don't have a kind of I'm having a shot. I'm a candidate.
Thank you for your beautiful voice.
Thank you so much.
Dolly, you want a water?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great seeing you here. Great
Which
seeing
way
you
is it?
I told him this way.
Thank you so much. Anytime.
Dolly, my You take her, I'll take her. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Amen, amen.
You heard me tell you to go back to your old love.
Everything's fine. I mean,
Give me the brother to make money, I'll make money.
Right? Like 20
No, but I know you always get everything. How many do we miss?
I'm going back to
All right, thank you.
Yeah?
Do you know anything about him? No, I don't know anything about him. I gotta run.
No, it could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you work for the school?
I work at the school. Yeah.
What a shame that they couldn't all come. Contribution, they didn't realize the final.
No,
First game. Should have changed everything.
They'll do it on the
Remember what whatever, also, by the way, nobody knows, don't know.
No,
So like, I sort of assume that, I really did about this, but whatever. The question is what's gonna happen now.
No,
What happens? I might have to look for someone else now, and not wait till I'll be
Correct.
Yeah, you really did.
Hey, Zusha. Yeah, this was right. I ran up this front and I didn't leave the note.
So this is not just going to listen, you have to but we're going to sit down and eat that
Everyone of them was like ready to
more subtle on the eye.
I felt
All right, very good.
If I don't move it,
you packed up. What?
No school today, so.
There's no school.
No, there's yesterday last day classes, so there's like a faculty freshman and farewell dinner and the finals started. So students have a day to study.
You know, I gotta tell you. Didn't the principal back a little while ago? I know about that.
That was when I was here.
Yeah. How crazy was that?
My teacher.
Oh yeah? I didn't get busted.
All right, thank you.
Hold on, what were you saying? The principal, huh?
What, you know, closet?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, get busted.
Can I give you a number in case you need these photo, video, or live stream?
Did he get fired? No. He left.
Oh, you know that.
Yeah.
Like he pulled himself out and left?
There was like a rumor going around, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, something. And then, so one of the students emailed him, said like, hey, what's the story? And he responded. He was like, yeah, it's true. And he didn't come back.
Oh, and he's like, I can't go back in.
I think he
I can't
knew.
go back in here.
I think he knew that he probably like it's not really that. Not like it was never gonna. The student body and parents were never gonna be like happy with it. You know. So
He left on his own.
he left on his own. Yeah.
How did you get John? It just came out out of nowhere. Boom!
Yeah, I think he was sure he was struggling with it for a long time.
He probably was struggling, that's for sure.
By the time I needed, sure, he was, I'd be like, where's that stick? Tell us he was living too loud.
Right. Right. Is it hard for you? Do you feel like you're living you also feel like that when you live?
Never really thought about it.
You live two lives, I guess. Well, yeah, he was living two lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. He probably feels good.
Couldn't keep one of them in the shadows anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
It was mind-boggling for me to hear it.
That's what I did. I didn't want to
Yeah.
That makes sense. We all heard about it.
It helps me out.
Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, everyone was like,
That was right when the U.S. legalized.
I'm just saying. That's why he was okay coming out.
Right.
Just to be like, okay, now here's my chance to balance.
Right.
I was also sick of being principal.
Could be. I couldn't blame him there.
Here's my chance.
I wouldn't blame him on that.
Bunch of rich,
Too much crap to deal with.
yeah, dude. It's the students against the students against the teacher.
For sure.
If the teacher's not good, the students kick them out.
Absolutely.
I was at Chaim Berlin.
Thankless job. You went to Chaim Berlin?
I went to Chaim Berlin. You don't get to tell who teachers what. My mom was a teacher in Hampton for 12 years.
Yeah.
Which grade? Huh? 6th, 7th grade.
What's on there?
Chumash, Navi.
Oh, my mom taught Tanakh also.
Huh?
Wow.
Why though? When you were kicked out.
My mom taught Tanakh also for 40 years in Ramaz.
12 years in Haftar,
Yeah.
and this is when the teachers did have a say.
Yeah.
And then the principal changed, and now it became where the students,
Yeah.
2 seconds, could be like,
All the
I don't
schools
want
like
this
that.
teacher.
All the schools
And my
like
mother
that.
told a student, listen, you need to be more respectful to more other students. The girl went home, told her mom, nah, the teacher told me I'm cold-hearted. Mom's like, really? And they are a donor at the school.
That's it.
The next morning, Mrs. Solomon, pack your bag. Yep, you're leaving today. She's like, my mom collected heavy. My mother like, yeah, you fire me, you pay me for the whole year. But still, the next morning she was out of the job. No health insurance, no insurance. We had dental.
So
you know how it works.
fast. Of course.
You know the perks that come.
It's so fast. Wow. Wow.
And boom, boom, boom. Bye. Yep. She's like, after 12 years and 5 minutes, my whole life was over. My entire career was over. Pension and everything, you know? But we need to find this. Search for do we wrap or we want to go 2 blocks? We can also just go to Randall, 2 blocks away. Hop in for it's the factory.
Alan Smith. Minute every 20 minutes.
Thank you so much. Pleasure meeting you guys.
Good. I hope it was good.
No, you're good. I'm always down to learn new things.
Give you the other side perspective.
I hear it.
And I could go like, yeah, sure.
Listen, I can always learn a new thing.
The other one worked. The right one worked. The left one worked. See you guys. Thank you.